My name's Mary Heenan, and I lost my husband 45 years ago. He was murdered, going to work one morning in a workers' bus, and people threw a Mills bomb onto the bus and killed Paddy. I was left with 5 children who were innocent and didn't really understand politics or anything, and it was very, very hard for us. Paddy was only 46 when he was killed on the 1st of February 1973, and now I'm 91 years old, and I'm longer a widow than I was married. It's very hard to think that British soldiers and police, they want amnesty now at the moment, but what about us people who are left behind? We want the truth to come out now. Oh, I'm sorry. Now, we were left on our own. There never was any RUC, police or anybody ever came to tell us even that Paddy was dead or killed. We were left on our own, we knew nothing. And what I want now is the truth, and nothing but the truth. No more cover-ups. And I want a proper investigation. I want it all out in the open, and the people responsible. I want justice for everybody and everything, all people who were murdered. These new investigations that the government are talking about now, they need to deliver justice to people like us.
My name's Carberry. My father was murdered in 1972 by the British Army on the Falls Road. My father got out of a car with his hands up, and the British soldiers shot him in the back. My mother had 6 children, brought 6 children up, so she did it on her own. And a wee woman, she's 85 now, is still seeking the truth to this day for the murder of her husband. And they can't give you a proper answer to anything. The HET report give me a draft. They won't give me the final part of it because they know the truth's in there. And on these consultation mechanisms set up, I don't want any British soldiers getting away with murder scot-free. Under no circumstances should they get away with it, because each victim deserves the truth for the murder of their loved one. They can't sit back and let people get away because I have a uniform on. I want a proper investigation. It's simple. It's an Article 2 investigation. So what I'm asking for now is set up these mechanisms, the consultation, but set it up that it's independent and the mechanisms is right for everyone.
My name is Roisin O'Donnell. My brother Kevin Barry O'Donnell was shot dead by the British Army on the 16th of February 1992 along with 3 other men. He was shot dead in a pre-planned, premeditated operation in Clonau in County Tyrone. We believe that he could and should have been arrested, safely arrested, and face the courts, but that a decision was made much higher up in the British government. They had the knowledge beforehand and he could have been arrested, but the decision was made to kill these men, to shoot them dead using over 500 bullets. We have never ever had an inquest. We are sitting here 26 years later and we are still waiting on our inquest. We need an inquest. We want the money released to the Lord Chief Justice. We want to enable our inquest to be heard as quickly as possible. We do not want the Secretary of State able, with a stroke of a pen, to take all our rights away. We have a right to a full independent inquest to get all the knowledge. We want all the information that the MOD, that the PSNI have. We do not want national security quoted at us 26 years later. We do not want public interest immunity certificates branded about courts. We need to know the truth. We believe that these men could and should have been arrested, and the British government knows that and have tried to keep everything silent for all these years. As regards this consultation process, we want the money released now to the Lord Chief Justice. There should be no secret courts. There should be open access to information. The British soldiers that acted that night, there should be no impunity for them. They should be there to answer up and to let us know the truth. Let us know what happened that night.
My name is Marley. My father, Lawrence Marley, was murdered by the UVF on the 2nd of April 1997 at our home in Ardoyne. My mother, Kathleen, witnessed the murder and was left to raise me and my 5 older brothers by herself. We as a family have good reason to believe that the British security forces were involved in the murder of our father, both in relation to targeting him, to facilitate an actual murder, and to providing those involved with protection in relation to prosecutions. We have utilised the various mechanisms that are currently available in an attempt to obtain truth and accountability for our father's murder. Unfortunately, those attempts have been frustrated by the ubiquitous delay and resourcing issues that have plagued legacy investigations. We hope that the proposed Stormont House legislation can provide a mechanism whereby truth and accountability is available and easily accessible for us and other victims of the conflict, and that it's delivered in both an adequate and timely manner. Unfortunately, however, what has been proposed by the British government does not meet the needs of victims as it stands. We have a number of major concerns in relation to the proposed legislation. Firstly, if you read the foreword by Karen Bradley, the Secretary of State, you'll notice that she pays homage to the British Army and to the RUC, and then proceeds to make a claim that the British government will not allow history to be rewritten by either Republican or Loyalist terrorists. And we feel that this is a dereliction of the British government's responsibility, in that they were a player in the conflict. They are not an independent arbitrator, and a point that Karen Bradley and the British government are missing is that for the vast majority of people from my community, the British Army and the RUC were the terrorists. The draft legislation is deeply flawed. We do not accept what is being proposed as it is. We cannot have impunity for the British government and for past actions during the conflict and for state agents, and the legislation as it is will allow this impunity to continue. We do not want a situation whereby the Secretary of State has far-reaching powers to take documents away from families, to take information and truth away from families, and if the British government are serious about putting in place a proper legacy investigation, a proper Article 2 compatible investigation, then they need to take this on board. And I'd suggest that any family member who has suffered as a result of the conflict, or someone who's been injured, should take part in the consultation and register their concerns by the 10th of September.
My name is Brian Falls. My father was murdered on the 20th of November 1974, Patrick Falls. He was murdered by the British state through their agents, the UDR and the RUC, acting in collusion with loyalists. There was never any proper investigation into my father's murder. It was a cover-up. The current consultation process in dealing with the past needs to be completely independent. We don't want the British Secretary of State to prevent our family from getting the truth by implementing a national security veto. We don't want the British Secretary of State to use secret courts to prevent our family from getting to the truth. We want a proper human rights compliant investigation into my father's murder, free from any interference from a British Secretary of State.